make full proof of thy ministry, giving all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua B'Hashem Rakakwadash. And this video is dedicated to the ones of you out there that have taken hold of the plow, did not look back, you know, kept going forward, and used the tools necessary to push this word out. I'm going to read a story in Acts 15 concerning the Apostle Paul and Barnabas, how they both split from one another as far as doing the work. But I want to go into the title is from 2 Timothy 4 verse 5, and the 4th chapter of this epistle deals a lot with the work. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to the first verse. You know, I guess for the last week solid, we've been getting on people that are lukewarm, that turn their back on the plow, that left the truth altogether. You know, that give as little to this work as they can. So, you know, I was thinking about it, and I said, let me do another video. And I just finished reading Acts the 15th chapter, the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 verses, and I'll read it, I'll go through it, concerning Paul and Barnabas. And that contention was over John, surnamed Mark, as far as doing the work. Now, we here, in this present time, we do far more work than all of the apostles and the prophets, because they went from city to city. You know, Paul did 5 journeys. They tell you it was 3, it was actually 5, but there was 3 major journeys. And you have individuals today that do journeys. They'll go to Africa, like IUIC and even HODC. And we ourselves at GMS, the leadership of GMS, we don't do that. We don't do that because we have something that does our heavy work, and that's YouTube. So, as the scriptures say, this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world, and then the end shall come. Or published throughout the whole world, and then the end shall come. Has this gospel that we've been teaching, has it gone throughout the whole world? Yes, it has. It's went throughout the whole world years ago. Even Adiala, he made a statement back in 2009. He said GMS has gone global. And not just GMS, but IUIC. ISUPK is, I believe, global as well. But let me just go ahead and read this. It says, 2 Timothy 4 verse 1, I charge thee therefore before the Most High and the Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, rebuke. In season, out of season, meaning your ministry is in the streets, the highways and the byways. So it says in season and out of season, meaning when it's cold, when it's hot, springtime, fall. It says reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. not your doctrine, the doctrine, the Most High's doctrine. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. That's why you have a lot of different camps, because you have a lot of different doctrines, private doctrines. A perfect example is the MOTB. We here teach that the MOTB is the chip. Others say it's Christianity, it's an embargo, it's this, it's that. And we here at GMS held to that to this day. But if you go to IUIC and they speak about, the MOTB, they'll skip around. They don't even touch the 15, 16, 17 verse. They don't even touch it. They'll go into Revelation 13, but they don't even touch it because they know, or the head knows, or should know. If not Nate, then one of the other bishops. By the way, now they got 3 bishops, and one of them turned his back on the plow, which was Kanai. Now, if he was actually doing work with this whole scandal, okay, that's all good. But if this man took a break, he did a disappearing act for more than a year, that's not a good thing. And that proves that the thing of theirs is of man. It's plain when you read about when you read about them that turned their back on the plow, that took a break. I'm not talking about someone that has to go see their sick mother. They took two weeks off or whatever, and but you know what? They'll go to a camp, GMS camp nearby, or they'll do videos. So, when you do a disappearing act and you don't do nothing for 2 weeks, that's not a good thing. Putting that off the Lord day to day. I'm merely paraphrasing. That's in the Apocrypha. Somebody can put it in the description box. I'm not going to go bring it up. It says, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, healthy doctrine that makes sense, but after their own lust, they make up their own breakdowns. But after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. So let me go to itching ears. It means to scratch, tickle, make to itch, desirous of hearing something pleasant. Which leads me to Isaiah. I believe it's Isaiah 30. Let me go check. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, yep, Isaiah 30 verse 10. I'll start at 8, verse 8. Isaiah 30 verse 8. Now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book. This is the book we're talking about, or the scripture's talking about, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. 9th verse, that this is a rebellious house, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Tenth verse, which say to the seers or the prophets, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. The word deceit in the Hebrew is mahathla, which means deceptions, illusions. So now let's come back. Let's come back. Back in the third verse, 2 Timothy 4 verse 3, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. Meaning you go to the teachers, you follow the individuals that say things that you agree with. Another thing, the rape doctrine. That rape doctrine keeps coming up because it's a splinter in the minds of these people that came against us saying it back in 2013. Anyway, 4th verse. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. To give you a perfect example, ICGJC, you had this guy Tazadakia. He all of a sudden went to went before the congregation, his congregation, and said that the Lord gave him a vision saying that he was a God sent comforter, and that nobody rebelled against it. They just dealt with it, including the leadership over them, which was High Priest Arian, High Priest Shaw. Which High Priest Arian, High Priest Shaw should be ashamed of themselves for allowing that bullshit to go on. Anyway, it says, and ultimately, Tazadakia, the Most High, took him. It says in the 5th verse, but watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. So us using YouTube is making full proof of the ministry that the Most High gave us, the ministry that we're a part of. It says evangelist. Let's look that word up.
Strong's G 2099. Euangelistes.
A bringer of good tidings. In other words, the gospel, bringing of good news. An evangelist, the name given to the New Testament heralds, and the word heralds mean prophets of salvation through Yahushua, who are not apostles. So you have prophets, you have teachers, you have pastors. So they would also be called evangelists. So let me come back. Second Timothy 4 verse 5. Now we're in 6. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand, because the Roman government, they sentenced Paul to death. So they gave him time to get his house in order, and he gave him a date. You got to come back, and then we're gonna put you to death. And he did that. It said, I have fought a good fight, and the fight that he fought was preaching the gospel, not turning his back on the plow, not being lukewarm. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which Yahweh the righteous judge shall give me at that day. At that day is the kingdom, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. And then as you read down from the 9th verse, he curses a bunch of these guys that were under him out. One says, having loved this present world, I just want to find that. He mentions Alexander the coppersmith. He said in the 14th verse, Alexander the coppersmith did me much evil. The Lord reward him according to his works. 15th verse, of whom be thou also, for he have greatly withstood our words. So those individuals that came into this, learned this truth, and when they went out, everything that we taught them, they threw in the garbage, the proverbial garbage. So now what I want to do is I want to go into Acts 15. It says, Acts 15:35. Paul also and Barnabas continue in Antioch, teaching and preaching the word of the Lord with many others also. Remember, they were teaching and preaching. And all of you that listen to us, watch us on YouTube, if you're a man, you're supposed to become teachers yourselves. It's 36th verse. And some days after Paul said unto Barnabas, let us go again and visit our brethren in every city where we had preached the word of the Lord, and see how they do. Now it says in Matthew the 10th chapter, I'm merely paraphrasing, it says we will not go over to all the cities until the Lord come. So, Paul made the suggestion to go to these cities. Well, guess what? Like I said in the beginning of this video, we pushed this word to more people than Paul ever did. And how is that so? Through the YouTube. So it's the YouTube and the web that does our heavy work for us. This video that I'm doing right now, potentially 1 billion or 10 billion people, I'm sorry, the population is supposedly almost 8 billion. So this can go out to billions of people, thereby publishing this thing to the whole world. So now the end could come. It says, 31st verse, and Barnabas determined to take with them John, whose surname was Mark, but Paul thought not good to take him with them, who departed from them from Pamphylia, and went not with them to do the work. Now when you click on the word work, in the 38th verse, it's talking about us going out on the highways and the byways, us doing the sit downs, us pushing this word. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you that. You work on a regular job and you disappear, lunch break comes, you leave, and you don't come back for 2 weeks, I guarantee you're gonna get fired. Okay, it says an act, deed, thing done, the idea of working is emphasized in opposition to that which is less than work. So when you take time off, when you do a disappearing act, that represents that you're doing less than work. That it makes you either cold or lukewarm. And what does the Most High do? He fires you. He messes up your head. I heard this one individual shot himself in the head that was supposedly part of Sakari. Now, I don't know how true that is. This is what an individual said to Yahshua Amba, the elder of GMS Dallas, that he was a part of the Sakari, and guys are shooting themselves in the head, they got COVID and all that. Like I said, I don't know how true that is, but you leave this truth, the Most High can bug you the hell out. (39th verse). And the contention was so sharp between them that they departed asunder. They went their separate ways, one from another. And so Barnabas took Mark and sailed into Cyprus, and Paul chose Silas and departed, being recommended by the brethren unto the grace of the Most High. And he went through Syria and Cilicia, confirming the churches. So they actually got on boats and went. Basically, they were in Asia Minor, which is north of Palestine. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.